Tim Mead, Vice President of Communications with the Los Angeles Angels.
A little bit of background work on you, and I see you started as an intern for Angels back in 1980. How did you get into that position?
It really was something where I had written 3 different letters to the organization just saying I'd love to be an intern, loved the Angels, loved baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually had 3 rejection letters.
Wow.
It was the same template letter. And an intern quit in June of 1980. And they called me, because I think it was as much, I'd been the most persistent and I was at the top of the file, and it was probably all timing. And so I got a call in June of that year, started, and was the only intern in the organization at that time. Much different, obviously, today.
Yeah.
So it was just a great opportunity. And it was really by chance and by luck. I mean, it's not anybody I knew. It's not a last name. It's not a connection. It was just very, very much luck and I think persistence.
So baseball was your passion, or was it media more your passion?
Baseball.
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 Okay.
Once I realized I couldn't play on a professional level, or you better find something else to do. It was, what's another way of doing it? I started writing letters to clubs when I was in sophomore in high school. What you should do to become a statistician in baseball, and they all said go to college, get a degree, blah blah blah. And I still have those letters from '74 of people writing me notes. To try to be as persistent as you can, try to get FaceTime if you can, try to make opportunities and create something where people are going to at least know your name, and know your interests, because we have, what do we hire, 10, 11 interns for the organization this year, and there were over 800 applicants.
Right.
At some point, how do you know 800 people?
Yeah.
Who has that kind of time? So you have to make your own breaks a little bit.
As your current job title is vice president, what does your job entail from morning to day?
Whatever the computer dictates, whatever the text, and whatever people, I don't really control my time. Well, during the course of 12 months, it's any media request that comes our way. Making sure that we contact, whether it's players, front office people, our broadcasters, anybody associated with the Angel that we get a media request for, we try to coordinate. I'm in charge of alumni, I'm in charge of broadcasting, work with community relations, in charge of publications. I'm kind of the conduit, I'm the spokesman for the organization, so I have to deal with ownership. I kind of like it to like the press secretary, for the president, where he stands, not on the same level, but when he stands up, he has to have knowledge of a lot of things, but complete understanding of not everything specifically. We're the liaison between the fans and the club, the fans and the players in the front office and the clubhouse, the city people that we deal with, the commissioner's office, 30 clubs. So it really is the day, without being melodramatic, the day is from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. It's not your time in the office. It's, the BlackBerry, it's the computer, it's the texting. We are 24/7 people in PR.
So how do you juggle family life with your career
Delicately.
Life?
Delicately. Yeah, you better hopefully marry somebody or go out with somebody who understands it, because it can be difficult. Is it hard at times? You better believe it's hard. I travel.
With the team, you travel with the team.
There's so many things. You'll probably receive anywhere between 250 plus emails a day. If Artie Moreno calls me, everything else stops. If I've got 4 people in this office, 4 people are going to have to leave, or I'm going to have to walk outside, because it's the owner. I'll find that balance.
Is that the only person you answer to? Or
no, I answer to Artie, I answer to Mike Socha, I answer to Jerry DePoto, I answer to our club chairman, our club president, so our assistant general manager if he needs something. PR people tend to be kind of jack of all trades, master of none. But I say that phrase a lot, but I think master of being able to be a jack of all trades, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If Jared Weaver calls me today and he needs tickets to the Amundsen this weekend for an event, I'm going to get him tickets to the Amundsen. Come hell or high water, I'm going to find a way to get it done. So we learn to cold call and make contacts with different venues.
Is there like a healthy balance that you live by as far as like work versus like home? Like, do you set like, no, this is the amount of hours I'm going to stay here and then I'll be home, or
I can't.
You just kind of have to go with the flow?
You go with the flow. I need time every now and then to just shut it off. I'm in I'm in a people business,
right,
and I'm around people constantly. Right. Sometimes you just reach a point of just not another question.
Mm-hmm.
but that's generally late at night. I generally very seldom go to bed before 11:30 midnight, even in the off season.
Mm-hmm.
Probably by the end of the day, I need a half hour of that at some point. I'm not a meditator or yoga,
Right.
but this is my hobby. This isn't my job. This is my career.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Uh, I don't get tired of it.
And how many people are you in charge of in your department?
Used to be 7, now there's 3.
3? Okay. Is that?
We're kind of I always call it an air traffic control center
Mm-hmm.
for the organization, and I'm not trying to over dramatize what we do, but we tend to, once the season starts, open the building and close the building with stadium operations and entertainment and baseball operations.
Mm-hmm.
Our work weeks during the season are well, during a 7-day homestand are probably 90 plus hours. We work between 280 300 hour months.
Is your job specifically to the Angels or all events at Angels Stadium?
To the Angels.
Okay.
Now, if we add to the Angels and the radio station, since we own our own radio station,
Mm-hmm.
if we have a company come in here and put on an event, we'll check releases and kind of cross promote a little bit. But for the most part, it's just the ball club.
Will the cost of tickets change because
Not this year.
No.
Day of game tickets will go up a little bit because we're going to go on a premium pricing.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost if you go to the airlines, the closer you get to your flight, your ticket goes up because the demand is there. You always hear the phrase, "Nothing stays forever." It's either changes for the better or changes for the worse. You do change with it.
Mm-hmm.
You never want to be stagnant or stuck in your ways.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some things you have to hold on to, like for all the communication and all these different things, there's still no shortchanging interpersonal communication.
Mm-hmm. Well, how do you describe your leadership, like the way you run your department, your leadership ability?
Autonomy. I always believe that the department comes first, and this I always preface this, in some companies this will get you fired. I believe that the department comes first, the organization comes second.
Okay.
Because if you're not running your department and you're not on the same page, you can't possibly service your organization. You can try, but you just can't feasibly do it. It'll catch up with you. So I believe in a lot of autonomy. I let people do what they want. I'm not a yeller, ranter, and a raver. I think you learn by your mistakes, because once that horse is out of the barn, you're not going to stuff it back in the barn. You're just not going to let it get too far in the future. If somebody makes a mistake that works under me, I'll be accountable to the bosses.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about throwing somebody under the bus, but we'll talk. You don't embarrass somebody. Make sure you learn. Make sure everybody understands strive for perfection. You make sure that everybody comes here trying to not justify their existence. I don't believe in that, but give it their best every day. That you have to prove yourself each and every day. And proving yourself a lot of times is not to somebody else, it's to yourself.
All right.
Because at the end of the day, you look in the mirror and say, Stacey, I did a good job today.
All right. Just as a forecast, how do you keep the perception of Angels up if the new players don't live up to the expectations of?
You try to get know them as people. You try to get people not to lose sight of the team concept, because that's what this is all about. What you try to do is, we have expectations. We're expected to win now.
Yeah.
We don't contend, or pardon me, we don't compete. Competing is hope. We contend,
Mm-hmm.
which is an expectation.
Mm-hmm.
So I always try to tell people, for whatever they complain about, you can't possibly be more upset than we are inside.
Yeah.
You can't fathom it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't spend 14, 15 hours a day at this ballpark to just say, hey, we made $1 million tonight during the game, but we lost 10-0.
Yeah.
It really, the money, you devote your life to this. So
Yeah.
it's about winning. But I still have to wake up every day with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I need to make a difference in the life of other people.